I'm Bally.
I'm Marc.
We're here at the Smash Factory in London, Ontario. This is our custom fitting studio. Today we're doing kind of a fun experiment.
Yeah, so Bally's going to Scotland. Leaving tonight, actually.
Yeah, it's Open Championship week.
It is.
I'm not playing in the Open.
In case you're wondering.
Yeah, so don't watch for me on TV. You won't find me there.
No, but we do have to set up a golf bag for those conditions, right?
Yes,
so
I have a very serious game on there too. I've got to beat a buddy.
It's very serious.
Very serious.
And if anybody knows behind the scenes, it means a lot to Matt, and it means a lot to us that we can help him do that. So. Basically, we know we've got, I'm pointing over here, we've got his North American set, essentially we're gonna call it. So high launch, high spin 3-wood, similar story with hybrid. Want something that's gonna hold some greens, doesn't play a 3-iron, plays a 4-iron. So we know that we need to make some adjustments. And essentially, everything, as everybody knows, turf's different, conditions are different, wind is different, golf courses are different.
Totally different game.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we know that he's really comfortable with the irons he's playing right now, so we're not going to touch those. We know that they're already going to work pretty well with turf interaction, but we do need to look at the long end of the bag.
They're probably going to want a tour of the golf bag right now as it's set up, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll cut to that.
Yeah, why don't I give you a tour
and you guys can have a look at kind of what we're pointing at here.
Okay, so quick tour of the bag. I'm not going to get in depth on all the specs, but the main focus, we're not changing the driver. Irons and wedges are all staying the same. I've got a very low bounce wedge in the 60, and that'll be for tight lies or some of those little pop bunkers where I'm jammed up to the lip and just need the ball to pop straight out. Some mid bounce wedges, and then I go pitching wedge to 5-iron in a very, very cool mirror set. And I've got my Strixon 4-iron, a little bit bigger, give me a little bit more forgiveness. Where it's going to become a bit of a struggle is when we get to the hybrid and the fairway. So both Mizuno, I've got a 22-degree Mizuno CLK that's cranked down in loft, which gets the ball coming out a little bit lower and opens the face as well. So I always like everything to sit open. This is designed to hit high spinny shots because it's got the Oban Revenge green in it. So this one generally carries 220-ish, but it's spinning, so it's great for North American golf because the ball comes out high, spins, and holds the green. Not so good in Scotland. Next is the 3-wood. It is a 15-degree Mizuno ST200. A little bit of an older model. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad. Also has a Revenge shaft in it. A little bit heavier, 05 flex. Again, designed to really get the ball up in the air and spin. These are the two that are in question. Everything else is going to stay in the bag, but I'm going to need something that's going to be coming out lower, and basically we're concerned with spin rates and peak height. So we'll see what we get.
You would know as soon as, okay, it's 30 feet away and it's in a certain window, you know whether it's getting there or not.
Yeah,
into the wind.
it's so the biggest thing is, yeah, of course the wind is like, I mean, it's very strong. It's like Velcro on the golf ball. And then height, I mean, you can't keep it in the air long. So we've got to find something that still gives me some speed. Okay. But it's weird because like in North America, we're not looking for something that comes out low, gets on the ground early, and then chases. It's really flipped where my irons and stuff, I know my carry distances, I'm going to hit those. Yeah. We're going to play golf and just golf my ball from there. Plus it's all knockdown shots and all that stuff. But like this Mizuno CLK hybrid is designed to go straight up in the air and spin for me. You don't hit shots like that.
No, and that's, you don't want to have to manufacture all these shots, right? Like, eventually that's going to go south when you always have to flight something and you have to kind of manufacture it. So, okay, so that's a pretty solid normal.
Yeah, that one was hit pretty good. And I mean, again, my fade, I held it open.
Yeah, I mean, good numbers though for here, right? So you're 220 carry.
Yeah, and I would just aim up the left side of the green and rip a cut.
Yeah.
But that, 111 height, I'm toast.
Yeah, and I think at 5100 spin, that ends up being any bit into the wind, you're hitting.
Oh, it goes 160 yards.
Yeah. So that's where, you've got to be careful with that stuff. So, okay, well, let's see.
Well, we can go into my bag of toys that I've already got, but I'll give you one more and try and cover it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to feel like I'm forcing the golf ball to stay down all the time.
I see. Yeah, you just want to be able to.
Now, again, I'm trying to cover it, and I kind of heel yanked it.
Yeah. Okay, again, it's very similar numbers though, right? Like
it jumped up, so it's
216 versus 219 and the last time 229 total, same thing. 400's been different. So we know that's too much, right? Like 5,000 is okay, but
no good for where we're going. So let's bench this.
Yeah. So then, obviously, in theory, we know that that's carrying about 260. I'm more looking at total distance here for these shots.
Yeah,
because I think
it's the other way around. Normally we're considering carry.
True.
Total distance is way more important.
yeah, you're going to be playing.
Is what we're doing here.
So this is a Mizuno 3 iron, right? So this is the fly high.
Okay.
This is the newer version. So this is where obviously similar total number in theory, but you're going to get there a different way. So let's see a couple here. I'm just going to tag it real quick, Matt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's see. So this is our seal, or this is our fly high.
Yeah. So that's a 22 degree that we've opened and de-lofted and done all sorts of fancy stuff with, and hot melted and
Yeah. So it's let's see if how it performs. So Matt does use this every once in a while when he's kind of feeling himself, but I think this is where this is kind of a necessary club to have in these conditions.
yeah. Generally over here, I'm not fast enough to really get everything out of a driving iron.
If you're playing a firm golf course, again,
Sure.
right? This is the extreme example of a firm golf course. So good swing.
That
So
one might have been a hair open.
Yeah. Okay, so you can catch all of it, but
hair open.
so you flush that. Spin was dramatically different. So ball
Yeah.
speed, like if we look at where hybrid was before, so we saw 143, 147, 43, right? So about 145 average. There's 144.8, perfect.
Right.
2 or 3 degrees lower launch.
Shake. We need that.
Yeah. So and height obviously way down. So let's see one more because we obviously didn't catch our face angle there, but pretty darn good number.
Yeah,
to
it
start
felt.
with.
I mean, it felt like it might have been again a hair open, but TrackMan does struggle.
It's that black head.
Yeah, reading, especially this.
It's weird. We've noticed that. It's one of those things where sometimes you do get misreads, but it's just because the head is not being picked up, right? It's too dark or the light is shining weirdly. So
Yeah, it gets all the ball info. So peak height was 78.
yeah, you're 110,
Which is
100.
like
yeah.
we
Big
it's
difference.
got to stay definitely sub 80.
All right, let's see one more here.
Okay.
Good swing. That was hammered.
Yeah, it came up fast.
Yeah, that was crushed.
So I mean that's a missile.
Yeah, lower launch.
Yeah.
Efficiency very good. It's funny because you do swing them about the same speed. So there's 99, 98.
Interesting.
90. So there's not a huge difference in club head speed there, but we are seeing a significant difference in the results. And obviously in this situation, like you're getting quite a bit less spin. And even if we remove that little
Yeah, the wacky one.
yeah, we can see 35, right? So you're carrying 230, going 250. We know that over there though, that's dependent on the bounce, right?
Oh, for sure.
Could be 285.
If it's
290.
into the wind, it can go 185. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
this is where on average we're getting about 20 yards of rollout. With the hybrid we're 10. So right, so
Okay.
we've changed the distance on the ground a little bit more, right?
So again, the peak height. Let me give you one more, but the peak height is telling me that this is really good.
yeah, that's going to be a better option.
Yeah.
than our hybrid for sure. There you go, good swing. So you launch that one a fraction higher.
Boom.
Good swing though.
Yeah.
so that's the big thing.
And that was a little more cut,
Yeah.
and it went 5 feet higher,
Little
but
more
that's
height.
still fine. This
exactly.
is
Yeah.
probably. I mean, this is definitely the front runner. I think
Yeah.
everything else is going to be very difficult, but
Yeah.
we'll try a couple of the other toys I already have.
Yep. Yep. Let's compare. So this is our Srixon.
Yep.
So the Mizuno Pro Fly High, it had an Oban Kiyoshi hybrid shaft in it. This has an iron shaft. So this
Yeah.
is still an Oban graphite shaft, but it's a little bit different in how it's built. And I think Matt's used this in the past as well, but we're gonna see kind of compare our numbers here and how this feels comparatively to Mizuno.
Right.
So this is ZX utility.
Yeah. Yeah. So I play the 4 iron in the bag now.
Yep. So comfort thing
Yeah,
for you.
it's very familiar.
Yeah. Okay, good. So let's
Nice
just
thing
kinda
about
compare
these
the
shafts
numbers.
too is they're not crazy expensive. Like,
Yeah,
you
iron
know,
shafts tend to be a little bit cheaper than hybrid shafts. I mean,
Yeah.
I play an iron shaft in my 3 iron as well, so they definitely work. Sounded different.
Oh, yeah, it did. Sounded very necky, which it was.
Okay.
That's a bit of an adjustment from
Okay.
the switch to clubs. Weight's a hair different.
Yep. Again, not a bad result, right? So similar numbers. 56 peak height, 12 yards of curve.
That swing still came out in a low fade,
That's the thing.
which is good.
Yeah, we know, especially when the wind gets whipping and you're wearing 6 layers of rain gear,
Oh, I hate
you're gonna hit some chunky.
That's the
bunkers
worst
and bad
part.
ones.
It's the gear, all the layers.
Yeah, you feel so strangled. That was solid. Ball speed's not as high here.
Yeah, I just don't.
It's lower.
It's definitely coming out lower.
It's still just a little on the neck there. So
Okay.
I think that's part of where there's a little bit of ball speed loss. There's a little bit of club head speed difference there. 242, 212 carry though. So again, not a bad result, but we know that over a period of probably a couple of days, you're not going to want to just live with the bad ones.
Yeah, it would be nice to actually find some club face here. Try and give you something to work with here.
So let's see one more here.
Okay.
Solid.
It's still hit inside. I can feel. I don't know why I'm necking it. I mean, I got away with that one, but
Yeah, like
I still feel like like a little high inside.
Yeah, and I think maybe, and that's where like we know that numbers are fairly good, but this is only a couple of millimeters away from the S word.
Yeah, it's a bad word.
Unfortunately, that's not a big confidence builder. So we'll X that one for now.
Yeah, no, fail. That's
yeah.
Too bad. It's funny too. I like the 4-iron, but
And I think, I mean, you want it for a slightly different purpose too.
big
right?
time.
So it's understandable.
This will
And I
be
think
like off the tee,
that's what I was thinking
or
too,
ripping
right?
it into a par 5 or something.
And you know what? Can you do me a favor? So we're going to go back to Mizuno. I want you to hit it off the tee a couple times. So I want to see
Sure.
what numbers change. And I mean, I wish I could set this fairway to extremely firm so we can
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, at least we get an idea because the fairways, TrackMan already sets them quite firm. So.
Yeah, you get some run out. So, okay, so this is now fly high but off tee. So we're going to kind of compare the difference because I think that's what people don't realize too is like your launch conditions and your height and your spin for most people will change. And for some people it changes dramatically when they tee it up. And I think it's obviously a subconscious thing, but let's just compare some data between off a tee and not off a tee here.
This is actually this shot here on this golf course, this hole, which they're probably not going to let me play this kind of week, but
maybe if they watch this video, they might give you an invite.
Maybe, but this is the right club for this hole.
So visualize it, pretend you're there, right? Let's see it. Beautiful, good swing. That was really solid.
Yeah, so I mean that's pounded.
Yeah, and what we're expecting to see, or what I'm expecting to see, is a little bit more height, right?
A
little more launch. We didn't see spin jump up a ton, but we saw your carry go up about 10 yards. So this is where like you've got to take this into account when you're at home. Hitting it off the ground, especially a low lofted iron, you probably will carry it a little bit further. And in Matt's case, it's probably 10 to 15 yards.
I mean, height, like everything, if I want to hit one high and let the wind help me, I will. Or I'll just hit it right off the deck if I'm playing a hole downwind, or into the wind rather.
Absolutely. And I think that's where like, if you know, okay, hey, you know what, there's a pop bunker out there at 280, and and I think that's where people go, I can't hit it that far. But then you realize, you go, you're not hitting it that far.
No.
It's bouncing that far.
Yeah, Scotland is hitting it that far. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's where like trying to get something on the ground, though they're fast, you will take a little bit of energy off it, and you eliminate the risk of hitting the backside of a hill landing at 240 and it going 310. Right. Okay. So this is Ping LST with modifications.
So we've done a lot. So this is the.
This started as a stock golf club at one point.
There was a time when it was stock, and then we filled it with a lot of hot melt. I painted the bottom pink, so everybody knows that it's mine.
Matt's very good at that. Yeah,
that's very important.
Very important.
And
just low spin knuckles. Like the only time I've ever seen you spin it is if you hit this low on the face. Like
if I do something, if I make a bad swing, right?
Any 3 was going to do that. But I think like the cool thing is we know that, and I've seen him hit this outside. This thing is flat, right? So like it's one of those things where we know the trajectory it has. Typically, like when you try and launch this thing in the air, it's a couple feet higher. It's not like it. No,
I never balloons on me.
So we know that like let's see a couple here just to compare some numbers. And I think 3 wood for us too is more of a positional play rather than just sheer distance, because distance is almost irrelevant when you play golf courses like this. So let's just see how this feels in our hands today. God, it sounds like a wooden driver.
Because it's
unreal.
So there, again, not my best strike, but if you look, peak height's down.
Way 82.
We're already close.
Spin was down.
Yeah, let me just make a good swing.
Yeah, and that one didn't catch everything. So let's do one more here.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
TrackMan
should be able to read it from there.
That's all right. God, that was hammer though, 275. All right, let's see one more here. So pretty good numbers on the last one.
Yep.
Let's see if we can't reproduce that. So you're going for a little cut here as well?
Yeah, ideally. I don't like seeing it go left. So
that's 1 out of 40 shots.
Yeah, true.
So don't worry about it. Good swing. So that one you caught a fraction high on the face.
Yeah, it felt a hair toey, actually.
Okay, okay.
So that was the bad one.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because like if we look at peak height there, that's where there was a difference, right? Like 100 feet, that's your high one. It's still, it wasn't as flushed as
No, definitely not. I mishit it.
and launch was a fraction higher. So, but spin didn't balloon or didn't go crazy on us. So still not a bad result. Good swing. That was nutted. So that was 8 degrees of launch.
Yeah, which
half. It's good.
Peak height's a little down. Like that was hit pretty hard.
See, and this is where like that's the highest you're gonna spin that
Oh.
thing typically.
This is also lofted up. I forgot about that.
Okay.
So this, because we need a wrench.
Yeah.
Because when it was set, or I added loft to it because when I stopped putting spin on the ball,
Oh, you need a little more.
I'm like, oh man, I can't use this thing anymore. So this actually, this is a
good.
forward right
Okay,
now.
cool. So that's where, okay, interesting. And I think like, and that's where we saw the Mizuno 3-wood spin at 38, 36 twice in a row. That was one of your higher spin ones, and that's
Yeah.
38, 10. So we know that at least it's going to be a little lower. So what's this at now? Just
So this is just
flat.
flat, standard loft
Okay.
now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm like, I was just surprised it was even getting up that high, and then I realized, okay, like, because I mean, more loft is going to add spin,
Yeah. Yeah.
which tells me that it's really less spin because we had
Well, absolutely.
more loft on that.
Absolutely. And I think like that's where you're gonna find too that like off the tight turf, especially over here, you're gonna pinch it, right? So like
Yeah.
you are gonna get a little bit of a lower trajectory. Good swing. 154. Good swing.
Yeah, see, so there's peak height at 84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still like with a cut to see 38 is good.
Yeah.
And I think like
I didn't
launch
totally
beam-
flush that.
Yeah.
I missed it a hair, but
And if we look at, so here's Mizuno, so 10 launch, then we saw 9.6, and that one was at 8. So there's,
Okay.
and then peak height, we're 100 feet, 91, and then we're at 85 here.
Yeah.
Right? So it's getting lower and lower, which
Okay.
is good. And the shape that you want to see as well.
yeah,
So
for sure.
let me see, I want to see like, let's say you've got to hit a runner, right? So let's say you don't even want to carry that X amount of yards. You've got to hit something off the ground, off the teeing ground here, low that chases.
Okay.
So not a stock one here. Let's see a little flighted one. Good swing.
So that was ball position a little back,
That
choke
was
up a
awesome.
little bit.
So
Seemed like a mystery.
yeah, it is a mystery.
Okay,
because
'cause I was like,
launched
that was-
you launched that at like close to 1 to 2 degrees there.
Yeah, that was
Um,
like stinger.
Yeah, and that's where like I know just from experience too is like you can launch it negatively outside and get good results. Obviously in here, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'll
but-
try and give you another one, but
Yeah,
I think
just-
TrackMan just freaks out
Yeah,
there.
it's
But
like-
you saw where it came out and hit the screen.
Well, you hit it perfect efficiency. You hit it
Yeah.
not super low, but that was good. Let's try one more like that.
That's
Yeah.
the same shot, really. I caught it a hair lower on the
Yeah.
face, but
And it's-
so it's not picking it up. It's giving me a height of 0.
Yeah, I know. So
But
that's
I
what,
mean-
I mean, the last one was 2 and it carried 93 yards, which is pretty impressive. So, I mean, I think
right.
this is where again too, you're gonna notice that like off of the tight turf. I'm happy that this one is the lower profile as well, because I think the higher profile 3-woods, you're gonna catch them low on the face and they're always gonna spin. So if you can bring that center of gravity down a little bit and get that golf ball launching a little bit higher on the face, you're always gonna spin it a little bit less. So
Okay, let me give
let's
you one
see.
more just
Yeah, just
normal
normal
shot,
here
not
for
a
me.
trick shot.
Yeah, let's see. Good golf swing. There it is. So there's so there's the stock one, right?
Yeah.
70 feet of height, 4 feet of curvature, 245, 275, right? At 2,700 spin. So yeah, that's your baby. And I think like, again, that's where that has an advantage because of the shape and the size as well over Mizuno. And I think you're comfortable with
Yeah, Mizuno's great when I need it to spin. This is great when I need knuckleballs. So
yeah.
Okay.
So what's in there again?
So this is the old Acra FX.
Low launch, low spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the 300F.
Yeah, about 80 grams or so. So it's a heavy
Yeah.
3-wood shaft.
Yeah.
Which again, I think that's where Matt isn't the fastest guy in the world. He's pretty fast. He's definitely gets it out
Well,
there
not
as far
compared
as he
to the
needs
guys
to.
playing golf now.
I mean, it's just insane how far those teenagers, it seems like, hit it, right?
Kids.
It's
Those darn kids.
Those crazy kids. But
Yeah.
and I think that's where Matt hits it plenty far to keep up and be long with the average person. I think like, yeah, there you go. That's where there's going to be some of those trick shots next week.
Right? Height of 14 feet. Yeah, I can just hit 3 wood 65 yards every time. I'm golden.
Absolutely.
Better putt well.
Yeah.
We have our winners. The COK hybrid has been replaced with the Mizuno Pro 3-iron. Comes out a lot lower, spins a lot less. Oban Kiyoshi white, very, very cool shaft. Looks cool, which I like. Ferrule's black and white, so it makes me feel like I'm very fancy. So this will be the club for hitting shots low and running, either into longer holes or playing for position off the tee. And the 3-wood, back to the old Frankenping 3-wood, fancy pink paint on the sole, pile of hot melt, the Acra, let me turn it this way so you can see it, Acra FX 300F shaft. Again, this one just comes out much lower, less spin, lower peak height. Again, perfect for getting the ball out there a little further but keeping it running. And with any luck, I'll be able to get it together enough to win my big match. So we'll see how it goes.
252
Yeah.
carry. It's a golf shot. Okay.
Wow.
Forget about it.
That one,
His neck are more good.
that was bad. Let's just erase that because that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.